What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Toshi. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. There's a few of you, more than a few of you, who've requested this coin recently. I mean, let's see, let's see. Do you want to make one for Toshi? So this one's at the request of Manny's son. He was the first one to ask for it on this video here. Bankroll asked for it. GST Academy asked for it. There's a bunch. If I went through here, a lot of people actually asked for Toshi. So we're going to talk about Toshi right away, right off the bat. I want to say hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I might have said it already, but it's something that you got to say. It's so nice. You got to say it twice, right? Right off the bat, what I want to say is I think you're doing a very kind of traditional bottoming pattern that I'm very confident in, right? I tried making the same call with another coin and it didn't work out, but oftentimes it does. You know, if we look at XCN, this is the coin that I was thinking before we'd do this. If we look at the daily time frame here, before we ever saw this low right here, I was thinking that we would have a peak here, a lower peak here, and then a higher peak here. It'd be like a three peaks kind of pattern. That's what I was talking about. It didn't end up being that way. It's a totally different than what I thought it would be. But Toshi here has that same kind of look, at least as of now, where it has a peak here, a lower peak here, and then you could get set up for a peak here. Now, oftentimes with these, I don't know what to call it. There's probably someone who knows what it's called. I've heard people call it diamond patterns, but I don't think it's a diamond. I know what diamond patterns look like, and maybe it's an obscure kind of diamond pattern. I don't know, but it's like a triple bottom of sorts, where it almost looks like an inverse head and shoulders of triple bottoms, because you have like your left shoulder, your right shoulder, and the head there, but it's not an inverse head and shoulders. The only instance that I could think of right now, and it's not the only instance I've seen this all over the board, time and time again it happens, but the only instance that I could think of really is that Bitcoin saw the same exact kind of thing here, where you had a peak here, one peak, two peaks, three peaks, just like that, right? You see what I'm talking about? And I could see where people might call it a diamond, like if you try to outline it, yeah, I could kind of see that, I guess. That's what one of my buddies who does TA, that's what he was telling me it is, and maybe it is. He knows some things more than I do. I know some things more than him. You know, everybody's different in the TA game. It's like playing the guitar. You could be better. You could be the best guitarist in the world, but someone could be better at various things. You know, all I'm trying to say by this is, whatever this pattern is called, I think this look right here is very similar, at the least, to what Toshi could be setting up for right now. This three peaks kind of pattern, right? Again, it's not an inverse head and shoulders, because if it was an inverse head and shoulders, that would imply that your right shoulder would go all the way up here, and it definitely did not. If it was an inverse head and shoulders, it'd be slanted as hell, and your left shoulder would go past the head. It just doesn't make any sense at all. So what I'm getting at, the moment of truth, is that, yeah, you're probably going to find support soon. You're likely in this area where you're going to find support. You could find support now. Just because it's three peaks doesn't mean you actually have to go down to this area. This is close enough. I think that's fine. What you want is a kind of reaction like this, though, right? You want it to be somewhat down and somewhat up rather immediately. So if this was to be the peak, you'd want to see a nice 4-hour candle in the next 3 hours 52 minutes to close up. If not, I would assume you probably have just a little bit lower to go. You can go below this low. It's okay if you do. I wouldn't want you to go below this low. If Toshi goes below, if I'm wrong, if Toshi goes below 0.00054, if we go below there, you likely don't stop until you hit 0.000477. Okay, that would likely be your target area. And actually, if we take a low to high here, I wonder if that agrees with any fibs. It's just outside of your fibs. So maybe even go a little bit lower than that. Okay, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I want to look at the 4-hour RSI. The 4-hour RSI is crowding this oversold area, rejecting the 40 and finding support off the oversold. This is not a common thing that you see, right? You find support off the oversold, you reject the 40, you go into the oversold zone. That's what happens. That's literally what's supposed to happen. But you didn't do it once. You're looking to not do it twice. Generally speaking, when you're supposed to do something and you don't, you do the opposite. Okay? You are in a downtrend in your 4-hour RSI. Okay, the last downtrend you're in, this is how you broke it. Let's see how you broke it. You broke it in this fashion. The last downtrend you broke it in this fashion. I would assume when you break out of this downtrend, you would break it in a similar fashion. Now, does it take you to higher highs? I don't know, but at least something that would probably take you to 3076, right? You're at 30617 right now. All I'm trying to say is my expectation is, if you are to drop from here, it'll happen fast. It'll be over faster. You've got 7% at the most from your current price of 306173, 306177. You've got a 7.3% drop from here, 7% to go. Maybe a little bit more than that even. It's okay if you go a little bit below this line. I just don't want you to go below that line, because then you've got a lot lower to go. And even if you do that, that's okay. Toshi's going to make a comeback. This is one of the few meme coins that I'm actually like that exist in the top 500 coins. This is one of 3 meme coins literally that I have confidence we'll see new all-time highs and will be productive throughout this cycle. From a high to a low, speaking of productivity, right? As long as this is your low and you don't go lower, the assumed new highs would be something at about 2038, right? You're at 306 right now. So that's about a, would that be a 5x, 6x, something like that? Let me just see. Yeah, about a 6x, something like that. That's your minimum target. Your maximum target is about a 10x, and you could go through that. This is a meme coin, and it's been through a lot. It's gone down a lot. You could see something that erupts to a 15x, a 20x. It could happen, but certainly something between a 6x and a 10x is on the table from the current price if you're just patient, if you just wait. Okay. I'm not saying that whenever you break out of this downtrend, it's going to happen like that. It's just, you know, you'd be on your way. You'd be on your way. That's all I'm trying to say. Prices to get excited for, from a high to a low fib. If this is your low and you don't go lower, the price to get excited for, I think, to cross would be to get to that 201 line. If you can get to 201 and cross that, that very much solidifies this as a low, solidifies this as a higher low, and would solidify that you are moving up as well, right? So good stuff. On a daily basis, actually, I want to look at a 1 hour real quick. Yeah, man, you've had every opportunity to get oversold. You are living below the 50, and you're not getting oversold. It's so weird. You don't do that, man. That's not what happens, right? I guess here you kind of did a similar thing. Here, though, that's more common, getting oversold time and time again. A little volatile there. I don't know. If you do the same thing you did last time, maybe you're at the end of your trend and you'll get one last little dip into the oversold zone, but I don't think you do, man. I think you're going to start moving up from here, truthfully. If you do go lower, again, just a little bit lower, 7% at the most, and it's very possible. I keep going back and forth because I don't want to say it's going up and then people think it's going up and then it goes down and then you crap your pants and sell at the worst possible time. I do think it's going up. I don't know if it's now or if it's 3 hours from now. You know what I mean? At any rate, you're very near your low. You're very near prices and a time frame that will allow you to grow. It wouldn't surprise me at all if today closed green and you started moving out today. It wouldn't surprise me at all if today closed redder than tomorrow you started moving out. But sometime soon you are going to be moving out of here. So I hope the message is clear. Let's go from this high to low one more time real quick. Rafiki. Shh. I'm making videos. Do we have anything with more historical data? Anything with more? Bybit, maybe? Bybit generally does have more historical data. I mean, if we were to go below this low, let's just entertain that real quick before we end the video. If everything's wrong and we were to go below this low and our worst fears are realized, everything that I've said about those higher prices, it still stands to be true. In fact, you might only go higher, okay? But likely you would drop something at the most around 20%, if that even, right? So that's the worst case scenario. It could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but it could happen. You know, maybe 30%, 20%, something like that. And if it does happen, that is not the area that you want to sell. That is rather the area that you'd like to buy, right? Hopefully this 3 peaks thing works out. We break out and we go higher. The area to watch for is 201. I got nothing else for you. If you break above 201, it's on, you guys. It's on to new all-time highs, likely over the weeks to come. I very much do suspect that Toshi will be at 0.0038 or higher by the end of March. If not the first or second week of April, but by the end of March is what I'm thinking. So hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate you all for being here. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.